What's the first upgrade every RV owner should do if they want to boondock or dry camp in their RV? Whether it's a towable like these fifth wheels, a diesel motorhome, or a gas motorhome. You could even have a schoolie or even a van conversion, or even the most basic teardrop camper out there. You need to upgrade your tired, disgusting, heavy lead acid battery that it came with. From either the manufacturer or the dealer or the previous owner that you bought your RV from. It's really a no-brainer at this point, because not only are these lead acid batteries extremely heavy, require a lot of care and maintenance, and like to get acid all over the place, a simple Group 24 lead acid deep cycle marine battery only has about 70 amp hours of capacity, and that's total with reserve. You really should only be using about 35 or 40 amp hours capacity before you start damaging this over time. And there's really been no better time than now to switch over to lithium iron phosphate batteries when it comes to house batteries, for 4 good reasons. The first one being price. This direct replacement TimeUSB lithium iron phosphate battery is the same price as a brand new Napa Group 24 lead acid battery. And I don't know if you can tell, it's a direct replacement. You don't have to change anything. And we're not just talking initial price. The Napa warranty is 24 months for this deep cycle battery, while the TimeUSB is a 5-year warranty. Now the second reason is pretty obvious. These batteries are heavy. 46.5 pounds for one Group 24 battery. This TimeUSB 24 group battery, half as much, 21.5 pounds. And my apologies for everybody else in the world, that is 9.8 kilograms compared to 21 kilograms for the lead acid battery. And I don't have to worry about adding water to it or spilling acid everywhere or damaging battery cables from the venting of lead acid batteries. Number 3, which might be the most important one, is capacity. Like I said, this has about 70 amp hours of capacity, while this one contains 100 amp hours of capacity. And remember, we're not supposed to use all the capacity on a lead acid battery, so about 40, maybe 45 amp hours compared to 100 amp hours of complete usable capacity. So already comparing the lead acid deep cycle battery, this is 20 pounds heavier, has about 60 amp hours less of capacity, but they cost just about the same. Just like a lead acid battery, this lithium iron phosphate battery from TimeUSB Power, you can hook up 16 of them together to create a huge battery bank up to 48 volts. So the built-in BMS on the TimeUSB batteries can handle both series and parallel connections up to 48 volt. So what's reason number 4 to upgrade to a lithium iron phosphate battery? And it's not because the lithium iron phosphate is actually a lot more stable than lead acid, or that the voltage at 12.8 is slightly higher than a lead acid battery, which means things are a little bit more efficient. It's because they charge so much faster. This thing can handle 100 amps of continuous charge current, which means with the right charger, this TimeUSB lithium iron phosphate battery can charge from dead to fully charged in 1 hour. Whereas most lead acid batteries that are completely discharged, they need to have a good solid day of being charged. Which means if you're boondocking, you deplete your batteries and you're running off of solar, it could take a few days of sunny skies to charge up your batteries. Whereas with lithium iron phosphate from TimeUSB, could be 1 day and your batteries are charged again. Has a nice built-in handle, only 20 pounds. Drop it in place, right back in the box. It comes with its own hardware. We hook up the positive right there, 13 millimeter. Torque it down. Do the same for the negative. Very simple. Put on the provided safety insulator caps to protect those terminals. The onboard BMS built into the battery handles the rest of it and makes sure the voltage doesn't get too high and the discharge or the charge rate isn't too high or low. I don't think there's an easier upgrade you can do for your RV, especially if you have to replace your battery anyways. You've more than doubled the capacity of your battery bank without increasing the footprint at all up front. Didn't have to spend any money upgrading the rest of the system. And we're still pulling 12.9 volts. A lead acid battery is fully charged at 12.66, so we already have higher voltages and we're not even charging. Really, the most important thing to know about after all this is making sure you protect that battery. This flimsy little nylon strap isn't going to cut it anymore. And that's reason number 5 why lithium iron phosphate batteries from TimeUSB are kind of nice. Unlike lead acid batteries that have to be vented, you could actually move the battery inside the living area right here, or even in the back compartment here, and don't have to worry about anybody taking it. Maybe a 6th bonus reason is not only is it packaged very nicely, but you get a whole bunch of stickers with it too. I mean, come on, you don't get stickers with this battery. Hey, did you just buy a brand new fifth wheel or RV and you were told by the salesperson that it came prepped for solar with a plug on the side? And we're told how easy it was to just get portable solar panels to put on the ground and plug it in, only to then discover that you can't just use any portable solar panels because the plugs aren't compatible. Because it should look like that, right? And now you're being told by your factory or dealer support that that's really only compatible with an expensive Zamp or Furrion all-in-one portable solar panel system, which is not necessarily as inexpensive as the flexible panels behind me here, that you weren't quite sold on, and it's a little bit bulkier than you expected it to be. So why can't you use just any off-the-shelf portable solar panel on your newer RV that came pre-wired from the factory for portable solar power? The big secret is this is unregulated solar power. The only thing the factory really does is wire up a fusible link with a plug on it directly from the sidewall to the battery. And on an RV, the standard voltage is about 12 volts. It'll go up to about 14.5 when it's charging though. But solar panels by themselves are unregulated. And if you just plug them straight into the battery, you'd be hitting your battery with about 21 volts. That'll make very short work of damaging your battery and your entire 12-volt electrical system and burning out all the components. So what you're going to need is a regulator or a charge controller. And you can pick these up relatively inexpensively, which will allow yourself to make your own portable solar panel setup. Now this is only a small 100-watt panel right here, but this controller is still rated for 130 watts. And it's really quite simple to modify this panel. So all we're going to do is grab one of the adapter harnesses that panel probably came with, or you could just get a very inexpensive MC4 kit online to do this too. But we're really just going to use this harness. We'll cut off the plug we don't need. We want to save these ends. Look at that. The red cable will fit on the MC4 connection for the positive lead from the solar panel. Yes, it means the negative fits on the other one. We simply strip off the end. Simple. Connect the positive to the PV side. Positive right there. It's even got a picture. And then connect the negative to the negative side. All right, we're halfway there because we're not using the load. Don't worry about the light bulb. Now you will need that harness to connect to your RV, but you can order these fairly inexpensively too. Strip off the ends of those. Simple. And then you hook up those leads to the battery. There's a picture of a battery on there. Positive, negative. Simple. Now the next step might be the scariest, but you can just use zip ties if you want to. And you can zip tie the controller on the kickstand. But I'm going to use some rivet hardware to keep it in place. Just make sure you're not drilling into the solar panel, okay? Don't do that. All right, one more should do it. And just like that, we've built an off-the-shelf, a portable solar panel compatible basically with every pre-wired RV out there. Now I just have to open it up, put the kickstands out on both sides. I'll feed these wires through underneath. Plug in the negative, plug in the positive. Hey, look at that, it came alive. Now all we have to do is plug it into the pre-wire from the factory. Look down there, it's already charging. Push and hold enter. Now select lithium because I have a lithium iron phosphate battery as a house battery. And now we're charging. That's simple. Helps if you read the instructions too. Now the really nice thing about having a portable solar panel array on a trailer this small. Since there's not a lot of roof space up here, we can, because of the way we wired it, easily Y off of that and put more panels in parallel or in series, depending on how we want it to do, to increase the size of the array. And because the sun is so low in the sky right now, if I need to reposition that very easily, I don't have to reposition the trailer in order to maximize the amount of solar power I'm getting. But if we come inside right here, my battery voltage, we're at 13 volts and climbing. I mean, it is only a 100-watt panel. And we're only putting out 3.6 amps. But really, even with this 100 amp hour lithium iron phosphate battery, that would still only take 30 hours to charge from dead all the way fully charged. And yes, I do know we'll only have sunlight for about 8 hours. Just get more solar panels or use less lights inside. I don't know what to tell you. And because we were very mindful with the way we built this, we can just go ahead and unplug it, fold this back up again. Man, look at that, it still folds flat. By no means can you abuse it, but you can still store it inside.